Hi, my name is Jordan, and if you're wondering what book of the Bible to read next, or you just want to start reading your Bible somewhere, why not join me in reading Philippians? Philippians is 4 chapters, so over the next 4 days, I'll be reading one chapter of Philippians a day, and I'll be sharing a video each day talking about what I liked and what stood out to me about the chapter. Here's what I liked about chapter 1 today. In chapter 1, Paul talks about how he's writing this letter to the Philippians from being in prison and in chains, but what stood out to me is the perspective that he has on his chains. As he says in verse 12, "Now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel." And in verse 13, "As a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ." And so his perspective is seeing how God has been using even him being in chains for good and to spread the gospel. And this relates to what Paul says in Romans 8:28, where he says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." And also in verse 14, Paul says, "And because of my chains, most of the brothers and sisters have become confident in the Lord and dare all the more to proclaim the gospel without fear." So his chains have actually brought confidence and fearlessness among the other believers, and it's because of his chains that have brought about this good. And this was just encouraging me today that even in tough or difficult situations, there's always a good that we can find in it, and God always has a purpose in it. Even if it's hard to see, God does work everything out for our good. And he says that he comforts us in our troubles so that we can comfort others with the comfort we have received. And finally, we have hope in verse 19 that says, "For I know that through your prayers and God's provision of the Spirit of Jesus Christ, what has happened to me will turn out for my deliverance." So he knows that while he is in chains now, he will be delivered. And that's what we can know in our lives too, that while we may be in a tough situation or a difficult situation or metaphorical chains, we know that God will eventually come and deliver us, and we can have hope in that. So that is what stood out to me today about chapter 1. I would love for you to join me in reading Philippians over the next 4 days. And if you read chapter 1 today, come back and let me know what you liked about it in the comments. I would love to know what stood out to you. Come back tomorrow for Philippians chapter 2.